All right, let's talk about something fascinating. There's this invisible force that kind of governs our social lives. It's this unseen magnetism that some people just seem to have, and it all boils down to a really interesting question. You know who I'm talking about, right? Someone walks into a room and boom, the whole vibe just shifts. They haven't said a thing, but everyone feels their presence. It's not about being loud or flashy. It's this quiet, invisible pull. So what is that? And more importantly, is it something the rest of us can learn?
Well, here's the secret. It's not a checklist of things they do. It's not about having the perfect opening line or some kind of power pose. Nope. It goes way, way deeper than that. The answer isn't in their actions. It's in their internal state of being. It's a quality that just radiates from the inside out.
To really get a handle on this, we're going to look at a concept called the law of emotional gravity. And yeah, it's a lot like actual gravity. Think of it as this natural, invisible force that just pulls people towards a strong, stable center.
Now, this isn't about being the loudest person in the room. In fact, it's pretty much the opposite. Emotional gravity is that quiet confidence you feel from someone who is just completely at ease with themselves. It's a calm, stable energy that turns out other people find incredibly reassuring and magnetic. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. Emotional gravity? Sounds a little abstract, right? But there's actual brain science that helps explain what's going on here. And it all comes down to these little things in our brains called mirror neurons.
And here's the wild part. This whole process is totally automatic. Our brains are literally hardwired for empathy. When you're with someone, your mirror neurons start firing up and you subconsciously start to feel what they're feeling. So if they're anxious, you start to feel anxious too. But if they're calm and centered, your brain syncs up with that state and you start to feel relaxed and you're just naturally drawn to them.
So once you understand that, it leads to this huge, crucial distinction in how we approach social situations. See, most of us, most of the time, are operating on a chasing frequency. But the real power, the real magic, happens when you switch to an attracting frequency.
Let's break that down. Chasing is all about looking for validation on the outside. Needing people to laugh at your jokes or approve of you just to feel okay. This gives off this anxious, needy energy that, believe it or not, subconsciously pushes people away. Attracting, on the other hand, comes from the inside. You don't need anything from anyone because you're already good. You radiate this calm, self-assured energy, and that acts like a gravitational force, just naturally pulling people in.
Just let that one sink in for a second. The goal isn't to be liked, it's to be yourself. The liking is just a byproduct. When you totally let go of that need for everyone to approve of you, you give yourself the freedom to be authentic. And paradoxically, that authenticity is the very thing that people are drawn to. Liking you becomes a natural side effect, not this desperate goal you're trying to achieve.
Okay, so this all sounds amazing in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? How do you build that strong inner core that generates this emotional gravity? Well, it all starts by building your power from the inside out. The real engine behind all of this is an idea called self-efficacy. Now, this isn't about arrogance or having a big ego. Not at all. It's a deep, quiet trust in yourself, a belief that no matter what life throws at you, an awkward conversation, getting rejected, a setback at work, you can handle it, that you'll be okay. That unshakable core belief is the fuel for a calm, centered state. So here's a simple, practical way to start. 3 steps. First, just observe your state. Notice what you're feeling inside, but without judging it. That's the first step to not letting those feelings control you. Second, disconnect from the outcome. Put all your focus on what you're doing, not on how other people are going to react to it. And finally, number 3, act with intention. Let your words, your movements, everything come from your own inner sense of purpose, not from a need to please somebody else. And when you start to make this shift, I'm telling you, your entire social reality begins to change. You stop seeking validation everywhere you go, and instead you start polarizing. And what that means is your authentic self will naturally pull the right people closer and, gently push the wrong people away. And honestly, that's a really good thing. So what this all really does is it completely reframes what we think of as charisma. We've got it all wrong. It's not a show you put on. True magnetic charisma isn't a performance. It's just the natural byproduct of doing the inner work. It's what happens when you just show up as your genuine, centered self. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Just imagine it for a second. Your career, your friendships, your relationships, what becomes possible?
What doors open up when you stop spending all that energy trying to win people over, and instead, you just let your own authentic gravity do the work for you?